We're back on the NYX Z3, and my son is riding the Tynee Mimi that is not so tiny anymore because we put a real skateboard deck on it last night. I know, probably voided the warranty. It was a piece of shit though. I don't know what Tynee is thinking about designing a board like that at all. I ordered this board, the Tynee Mimi 3SL, for my 10-year-old son, his younger brother. He can ride the board straight, but he's terrified of it, especially the way it was. My daughter rode it. She doesn't get it at all. We're all skateboarders though. They all know how to ride skateboarders. They can drop in, they can do grinds, like they're all pretty good. I ordered bindings for my board. They haven't come yet, obviously. I can't wait to use them. He's able to ride that like a skateboard. It has an actual tail. You know, if you're coming up on an uneven piece of concrete on a sidewalk, you can use the tail to lift up the nose. You can also put your front foot on the nose and you can use that to lift up the tail. It's like way easier to lift up your nose. It's nicer to jump off curbs. I did it with the Tynee deck. I was jumping off curbs and that kind of stuff. It just wasn't great. Now it's great. And it was easy to move these parts around too. I had already had double drilled the front before. See, he's lifting up right there. But I also did it in the rear to make enough room for the cables to come out of the battery at the right level because I didn't want to affect the waterproofing at all. So it came out really nice. Right now, I ordered some hardware last night, some Chicago screws, the proper length, so that I can mount these bolts that are on the top now. Now I'm using 1.5-inch hardware. The Tynee has a recess. It didn't allow me to get a wrench around the nut. I just turned them upside down for now. We pretty much, for the most part, stand in front of those bolts. But I did order the Chicago screws to fix that. I will say this about Tynee. Their customer service is fantastic. Talking to that dude on their website, Aiden, you know, through the little search box that comes up if you go on their website, that's super handy. He points me right out to the products that are gonna fit my board because at Christmas time, I wanted to get these wheels by Christmas, the cloud wheels. The only place I could get them through in time was on Amazon. They sold me the wrong wheels. So, you know, Christmas morning, your 10-year-old son's excited about his thing and you know he's not gonna dig it with the wheels that come on it. And you take it all apart and then they don't work. Through the website, using that tool, I don't know if it's an actual person or if it's Aiden's AI, but I found that super handy to make sure I was ordering the right parts. He had let me know there was a 105 version, which the one I got sent to me that I ordered before Christmas was a 105, but it just didn't fit the hub at all on that Mini 3SL. And so I returned those today, but I already ordered another pair the other night. But this time I got the 120s. We luckily had a friend loan us a Meepo V3 before we got our board. So it was really our first experience on those boards. And luckily that board was equipped with the Cloud Wheel 120 millimeter. And if it wasn't, I probably would have regretted my purchase because this urethane, unless you're riding on the street, the urethanes suck. They're not even good on sidewalks. If you're riding a board with urethane and you're happy with how it feels on sidewalks, that's probably only because you haven't used the cloud wheels yet. So, you know, I didn't want to drop another 150 bucks on these wheels, but there's kind of just no enjoyment without it. So this is Killian's first day trying the board out. We all did it. We all did this ride once with these stock urethane wheels, but nobody wants to do it twice. So hopefully shipping from China won't take too long. I think 10 to 15 days by the time they get here. But it's sort of an extra board at this point too. Let's take a look at it. All right, so here's what we got. I had mentioned this is some Trippin skate hardware. It's 1.5 inches long. And the reason I used it is because I didn't have anything better. When you do this installation onto another deck, this little piece of tape comes off, and then those nuts on the top would have seeded down into these circular holes. where I could not hold the nut with a wrench at all. So I ended up just temporarily mounting it. But you can see we got like, that's just the part where the screws are. But we got really good like water protection. You can see the holes. I moved the back truck a ½ inch forward so that I could get those cables to come out of the board in the right spot, so the housing was still waterproof. These front trucks were already double drilled by a ½ inch, so I think this is a 17.5 or maybe an 18-inch wheelbase, and this is a pretty long deck. A standard old school skateboard deck would probably be like 33 inches. The kind of boards I ride, and I know this one is 35 inches long. It does require you to have a long wheelbase, but I'm not sure why they do that with the minis, is why they have no nose and almost no tail. Are they trying to cut down on weight? I'm totally not sure. I don't feel like this board is any heavier. That's how I stand right there. I put my back foot on the tail. My front foot goes way above the bolts. There's only 4, I'm a couple inches. Say you're coming up on a piece of concrete that's uneven. I'm gonna put my 1 foot in the front and 1 foot in the back. If I got time. Okay, like so. With no nose on the tiny deck, that doesn't even become an option. These trucks are way too loose for me because my kids are about 130 pounds lighter than I am. But wheel bite with these wheels is not an issue. I did put some 120s cloud wheels on the front yesterday. You just don't want to throttle when you're lifting up because it will make you wheelie. Let me try that again. There's the Tynee Mini 3 SL conversion, Prodigal Son style. Whoa, dang. I got lucky on that. That boulder could have taken me down. Dang. Dude, this Ace Deck NYXZ3, full of fire, bro. That was sick. Wish I didn't have to wear the purse on my shoulder. Whoa, whoa. Oh, I need the bindings. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. My tire's holding up well from hitting that boulder. Did you see how big that rock was? It scared the woo! I got it in the sport mode one time. It was in super sport. I was right there on the grass. My youngest son was having trouble with that Tynee Mini. And I had it in sport mode, was standing on the board. I accidentally bumped it. I had it in my hoodie pocket. I wasn't even touching it. And it shot me on Sport Plus. Feet right up from underneath me. I couldn't even touch my feet on the ground. It happened so quick. Straight to my back. I respect the remote now. When I get off, I turn it off. I really don't want to take any chances with it. Boom, there it is.